Ambassador, Ambassador Vani Rao, Secretary General Ambassador Gorelia, my friend Senator Terzi, Excellencies, distinguished guests, members of the Indian community. Namaskar, buongiorno. It's wonderful to see you all here today. The opening of a new embassy, our own property, is always a very important occasion for any relationship. More so when it's in this beautiful historical city of Rome. I always looked forward to coming to Italy, to Rome, and I must tell you, of all my visits, this one gives me the most satisfaction. This is actually my 5th visit to Italy since I became minister. Every visit has been memorable. 3 of them I have accompanied Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in many ways, I think the frequent interactions today we see at various levels is actually a sign of the depth and the breadth of our relationship with Italy. It is also a reflection of the commitment and vision of our leaders today in taking forward our ties. There is a convergence in our worldviews, a synergy in our endeavors in addressing global and regional issues, and definitely a new enthusiasm for developing our bilateral ties. India's growing engagement with Europe, and particularly to Italy, which we see both as a very influential European and Mediterranean country, certainly reinforce each other. And we've been very pleased to see that Prime Minister Meloni's government has given more attention to Asia and specifically to India as part of its Indo-Mediterranean or a wider Mediterranean approach. We regard in Italy as a key partner, a very crucial one in Europe, a very influential one in the Mediterranean. And I will in fact tomorrow be participating in the Mediterranean dialogue which takes place annually in this city. I also must share with you, just 2 days ago I think, I was there at Rio when our Prime Ministers met, and that too was a very important occasion, and I will mention a few words about the strategic action plan that we have agreed upon. Friends, our ties are based on shared values, but also on some common history. We are ancient civilizations, rich in our culture, in our traditions, in our heritage, in our mythology, and we share many attributes. These attributes including, I think, a certain family-centric way of life, certainly a love for food, and I can go on. And I think what is important to recognize is that over history, in different ways, we have been interacting with each other, we have influenced each other, and today I think we have an opportunity to build on that. Our historical connect is actually very deep, and I would not be exaggerating if I said that a lot of India's historical interface with Europe was actually with Italy. This was I would say almost the landing point for anything coming to India or going out of India. So for us, Italians have been producers, they have been customers, they have been financiers, they have been carriers in our commerce. Our countries are also maritime nations. I think that gives a very different perspective to the world. And I recall Prime Minister Meloni when she came to the Raisina dialogue describing the Mediterranean Sea as a water body connecting the Atlantic Ocean with the Indian Ocean. So certainly our maritime interest and our shared commitment to ensuring freedom of navigation and shipping also help us bring the two countries closer. We are coordinating amongst others in the Gulf of Aden and in response to some challenges that shipping has faced there. But most important, we are today making history work for the relationship, for the modern relationship. India and Italy are founding members of the India, Middle East, Europe Connectivity Corridor, IMEC, along with like-minded friends. And as I contemplate the future, certainly one day we will look back on this period and say that this connectivity corridor, which was agreed to in principle during India's presidency of the G20, will be a game changer between Europe and Asia. In all of this, India's transformation in recent years has also been a factor in the relationship. The fact that you have such strong political stability in India, such sustained and continuous growth of our economy, the relevance of our demographics, especially our STEM talent in a more technology-centered world, India that is a first responder and a greater contributor to global demands and requirements, which is a successful example of the deployment of technology to improve the lives of people. I think all of this has led to a renewed interest in the world about India. And Italy certainly joins in that interest. So this, as Prime Minister Modi says, we have entered the third term, and the third term means we have to work 3 times harder. We have to work 3 times harder to build a modern India, but build an India which will be more global, whose relationship with Europe and Italy would be stronger, and where an India would take up greater responsibilities and make greater contributions. Today, India's increasing integration with global supply chains, its effort to expand manufacturing, to transition to clean and green energy, to build critical technologies, all these present opportunities to Italian investors, companies, entrepreneurs, and innovation ecosystems. Our commercial ties are very much obviously to our mutual benefit, but I think in many ways can make an important contribution to de-risking the global economy. I understand, Ambassador, that there is a major Italian business conclave which is being contemplated for India next year. And I want to say to you and through you to the business community that we welcome it and we support it. India's presence in Rome is also reflective of our membership of 3 important UN bodies here: the Food and Agriculture Organization, the World Food Programme, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. We have played an important role in all these agencies in contributing to global agriculture, food security, and nutrition policies. There have been many success stories which have come out of this collaboration, and we would look forward to working with these agencies and with Italy in doing more third country collaboration. So I'm confident that in future our presence in these agencies will reinforce our ever stronger relationship with Italy. Friends, our people-to-people ties are enriched by the presence, I understand, of more than 200,000 Indians today in Italy. And they are in very diverse sectors, from agriculture, dairy and healthcare to hospitality and various other professional responsibilities, including, I understand, education. Our two governments are keen to promote safe and legal mobility of talent and skills. I'm particularly glad to see that on this Sunday morning, members of the Indian community have come here. I welcome you. I thank you for all that you do here. And I want to say that in your motherland, your contribution and your facilitation of the bonds of friendship between India and Italy are deeply appreciated. Again, I refer back to the trip to Brazil from which I have just come. And I want to underline that the regular dialogue and meetings between our Prime Ministers, Narendra Modi and Giorgia Meloni, they have been certainly instrumental in elevating our bilateral ties, providing it new energy. And as I said, we have just agreed on an action plan for the next 5 years with a focus on very specific initiatives in the economy, in defense, in space, in clean energy, in science and technology, and in people-to-people ties. But every good relationship, every growing relationship requires a good embassy. And that is why I have been coming to Italy, I think, almost for 35 years. And I can't tell you how pleased I am today to see, as I said, to see this new embassy, our own embassy, which I believe is fit for purpose to service what is certainly going to be a much bigger relationship between us. I also want to say a few words about what is happening at home, particularly to members of the Indian community. I think you would have all seen that in the last decade, the Indian government has been very deeply committed to the welfare and well-being of the Indian community abroad. We are committed at times of difficulty and distress, such as COVID, sometimes of extreme stress, which has happened in a few other countries, places like Ukraine or Yemen or Sudan or even in Israel. But we are committed in terms of the day-to-day demands and interests and concerns of the Indian community. Our responsibility is to make it easier for you to live and work abroad so that anything which the Indian system has to deliver for your well-being is done better, smoother, more efficiently. And that has been our endeavor in improving our consular services and our community services. So, I do want to take the opportunity today to stress to you that you are foremost, the welfare of the Indian community ranks foremost in the priority of the Indian foreign policy. But having said that, I also want you to think about continuously renewing your bonds with your motherland. And there is nothing like regular visits to India to do that. We have our the biannual diaspora gathering, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, taking place in January this year. It will be in the state of Odisha. So I take the opportunity to invite all of you to consider participating in that gathering. And you will see that every visit to India, you will see the changes today in India. And the shorthand that I use, many of you would have seen me saying this or heard me saying this on other occasions, that it is a very different India today. It is an India in terms of the infrastructure developments, which is building 7 airports, 8 airports a year, which is building 30 kilometers of highway a day, which is laying 12 to 14 kilometers of railway track a day, which has built 15 new metros in the last decade. And it isn't just the infrastructure of it, the optimism, the mindset, the confidence levels in India today are very different. And we see that especially in terms of the startup culture, the innovation efforts that are going. But most of all, we are a country today keen to engage the world, keen to do more with the international community. And when we look there, we search for comfortable partners, and believe me, there's nobody more comfortable than Italy. So once again, I take this opportunity to congratulate the ambassador and her team on this wonderful new chancery. I have always envied the person who was ambassador in Italy. I never had that chance. But I envy the person even more today. So ambassador, congratulations. And to all our Italian friends who have joined us today, thank you for supporting this relationship, for participating in it. And to the Indian community, let me say from here that this gives us a chance to serve you much better. Thank you very much. Namaskar.